Crying on the telly, the British crowd in Australia was booing Stephen Smith and was shouting, crying on the telly. They've made a song out of this. A very warm welcome to all of the viewers. You're watching NewsX. I'm Akush Kaushik. And
I am Kashish Dhawan.
And Stephen Smith was brutally being trolled in the Perth Stadium ahead of the first Ashes that eventually Australia won. But this crying on the telly was trending all over social media. And Kashish, why do you think this crying on the telly thing came at first?
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of context and then we'll talk in detail about what exactly happened. So
right.
Pat Cummins, he's been sidelined due to injury.
Absolutely.
And now the captain,
Stephen Smith is the captain.
Now the captain is Steve Smith. Okay. And this incident happened when last time when Steve Smith was captain, it was in 2018. Back in 2018 when the sandball scandal happened.
Absolutely.
And immediately after the scandal, he was found guilty of it because he was aware of whatever was happening. Yes. And then it was found that he was crying really bad on TV.
On television, yes, he did cry. The sandpaper scam was actually a very big scam. It happened in 2018 against South Africa when the ball was swinging too much, when Josh Hazelwood was bowling to Faf du Plessis and the ball was swinging more than a foot, and then everyone was thinking that, is this normal? And then the visuals came out where Stephen Smith was the captain and David Warner was also involved, and they were found,
guilty of it. Yeah,
they were found guilty of ball tampering using sandpaper. First of all, I'll tell you why the sandpaper, what does the sandpaper do. So sandpaper is rough on the end, and if you rub it on the leather ball, it makes that particular end rough.
Okay.
And when one end of the ball is rough than the other end, then the ball swings. That is the science behind it. If one side of the ball is clean, that's why you shine one side of the ball, and the other is crooked, then the ball swings. And that's why they were using that sandpaper to make the ball crooked and to gain the benefit out of it. But they were caught and they were brutally trolled. The strict actions were taken by ICC. They even put a ban on both of these players for a certain amount of time. Stephen Smith was not allowed to be the captain anymore for the next future years. But then when this happened and they were brutally attacked in front of everyone in television, Stephen Smith broke down and he cried on television, and that's what British fans were making fun of.
So the fans, they are called Barmy Army, and they were brutal when very brutal when Steve Smith came out to bat. They were trolling him excessively. Now, and that trolling happened because again the captaincy is happening under Steve Smith, and they might have been taking a dig at him. It's like, again, you are the captain and you might be doing similar things. So yeah, that was the incident.
Absolutely, that was the incident. They were trying to remind Stephen Smith of 7 years before when he cried on the telly. He cried on the television, and they were making a joke out of this to bring down the Australian side. But eventually it didn't quite work out because, first of all, British fans going into the Perth in the House of Australia, they are booing their captain, they are booing Stephen Smith, they are going with crying on the telly. But whatever happened outside of the match didn't actually matter much to the match result. It was a very low scoring match. Mitchell Starc picked up 7 wickets in the first innings and 3 in the next one, took a 10 wicket haul, and eventually Australia has gone ahead to win this match, and Australia has won this match very, very convincingly with a very beautiful knock coming from Travis Head's bat. Travis Head absolutely dismantled the England bowling lineup and he smashed them all around, scored a tremendous century, scored 123 out of 83 balls, Kashish, with 16 boundaries and 4 sixes, and eventually he turned out to be one of the finest players in Test cricket.
See, Travis Head, whenever you see him batting on the pitch, you have to be worried because you really cannot understand what's going inside that guy's head.
Absolutely.
When he's batting, it does not feel like he is playing for a test. He's playing in test cricket. I feel like he's always playing with the T20 mindset.
Yes, he's always playing with the mindset to go after the bowlers and hit them. And Australia did this. Australia actually wanted to first not go opening with Travis Head, but in the first innings when they collapsed for 132, then Australia decided that let's make Travis Head open. Let's let him play where he loves playing the most. And the result went into the favour. Now the man of the match was still Mitchell Starc, and crying on the telly remark from the British fans didn't actually work on Stephen Smith. And Stephen Smith as a captain started off by winning the first test within 2 days. That's again a record itself. The first match of Test Ashes, the first match of Ashes in Perth was actually finished within a couple of days.